I want to talk about religious life and a theology of religious life because I think it will fit in here when we understand ministry. This is my own theology of religious life. I think it's in line with the church's theology of religious life, but it's in terms that we don't really use. It's my own term, so I can't guarantee that this is exactly in line with the church's teaching, but I think it is. I don't think there's any problem with it. I want to take us back a moment to say one way to think about the church is it's an instrument to help bring about the kingdom of God in our world. And what is that like? Certainly the fullness of the kingdom of God is in heaven. And an important thing about heaven is that we will love everyone completely. We will love everyone completely. That's the only way we're really going to be fulfilled. Now, on this earth, it's impossible to love everyone completely. But look at our theology of marriage explicitly laid out in Humani Vitae. The point of marriage is to give yourself completely to someone else, because you can only do that, give yourself completely to one person, because it takes your entire life and it takes the entirety of your being. And so your sexuality is part of that. And part of making love is giving of yourself to the other and receiving them. Now, this is a sign of heaven, where we will give ourselves completely, you see. It's approaching it from the complete side. On the other hand, what is consecrated celibacy? Consecrated celibacy, not I'm single because I just haven't found anybody yet, I'm looking for my prospects, but that kind of celibacy that is promised or vowed to God for the sake of the kingdom. The reason we have celibacy for the sake of the kingdom is to make ourselves available to everyone as they need it. And so I reserve part of myself, my sexuality, because I have to share that with one person only, so that I can be free to share myself with everyone as they need it. In heaven, we will love everyone completely. In marriage, we work on loving completely one person with the totality of ourselves. In celibate life, consecrated celibacy, we work on loving everyone in the appropriate way. Thus, these two, marriage and celibacy, are two poles which together speak of the fullness of the kingdom of God, the fullness of love in the kingdom of God, where we love everyone completely. So what's religious life? Well, certainly consecrated celibacy is part of religious life. In a sense, it's hedging our bets on that, giving yourselves completely to everyone, because certainly we think of the Carthusian monk alone in his cottage as the perfect example of consecrated celibacy, alone, alone, alone. But he's not really alone. And if he were really alone, then I would say it's not a vocation in the church. The Carthusian monk in his cell is praying for the world. He's connected to all of us in prayer. And that's where it makes sense that his life is a vocation in the church. It's connected to the community in prayer. By the same token, I'm a Dominican, member of the Order of Preachers. I don't really give myself to everyone because at night I should be home with my community praying and having supper. I'm not free to be out every night having supper unless it's really ministry calling. My community has claims on me, but they're not quite the same as the claims of marriage. So in that sense, it's somewhat in the middle, but it's consecrated celibacy that allows me to go out and be ministerial, to go out and respond to the needs of God, the people of God, as they come up. So this is a way to think about this idea of, can the church live without religious life? It can. There's nothing essential in this. There are other ways to witness to the kingdom of God and the fullness of love found there. But religious life is a good way. So it's not essential to the life of the church, but it is proper and fitting and fits in well with the life of the church. See how that's different than, for instance, the common priesthood of the faithful, which without it, there's no reason to be church. You don't have church anymore. Or even ministerial priesthood, because a community needs leaders. The witness can happen a lot of ways, but the community needs leaders. So, something to think about, a theology of religious life. We'll draw that in other points, because I think religious life has ministerial overtones too. It's no accident that the sisters who started these institutions, who run these institutions, were seen as real ministers in the church. And that when lay people take it over, we have to make sure that they have that same vision of being ministers in the church that came naturally to the sisters. But we have time to talk about these things. God bless. This is the last one. You're done with your videos now. Thanks.